All hair textures are derivative of black hair textures. But considering we live within a system of white supremacy and racism, hair that tends to be longer and straighter is privileged over shorter and tightly coiled hair. This has been perpetuated for centuries. Whether it's through media in terms of who we actually get to see on TV and movies, or even within our own families, there can be texturism in terms of how people are treated or mistreated based on the texture of their hair. And so this is very intra-racial, right? In terms of oftentimes it's black on black violence.
What's up, everyone? It's Books and Looks TV. So today I'm going to be talking about general featureism, texturism, and like the recent comments made by Sexy Red. So Sexy Red basically has sparked a discourse on texturism, and I feel like she has had an ongoing conversation about her looks and behaviors. A lot of this is stemming to me towards anti-blackness, but I do also think a lot of it is stemmed in respectability politics. And I'm saying that black women do have the right to like be loud or ratchet, but I also think that Sexy Red has been blamed for a lot of the ongoing behaviors in the black community, such as just being ratchet, just saying crazy stuff, just things that people don't find acceptable. So I do think that Sexy Red does go too far at times. I'm just gonna say that. But I also think that a lot of people criticize her because she does have darker skin.
I can't cuss.
Have you gotten into it with any fans? What was something that had you twisted and you responded?
I hate when they say I look like Young Thug, because no the fuck we do not look like.
And I know she said she's caramel. I know that she's not the darkest skinned person, but I have noticed that people often get upset with her just calling herself Sexy Red, which she has contributed to her wearing red wigs. And people are so like upset. You know, red is often correlated with like light skinned people. And the fact that she acts ratchet, I feel like people often are being colorist towards her. There are lighter skinned women who act the same way, and people find it attractive. People don't nearly go as hard as them, and that's because people, again, want to sleep with those type of women. Not to say people don't even want to sleep with Sexy Red's kind, but again, when you have a pretty privilege, despite you doing the same toxic and ratchet behavior, people will often overlook it. So now that I got the way, I'm going to talk about like the hair more.
I know good and dang well Doja Cat is not upset right now. Doja, are you really upset that those people compared your hair to pubic hair, popcorn, and sheep hair? Why are you so shocked? Ain't that the crowd you was trying to attract?
So Doja Cat happened to be someone who was biracial, and she also mentioned on the internet how people were talking about her 4C hair and calling it pubic hair, calling it carpet hair. And a lot of people were like, oh, Doja, you're anti-black. And the people who are saying that they can't be black people because black people understand our hair type. And so now I'm kind of confused because obviously Sexy Red is a monoracial black woman, phenotypically, and she's saying the same shit that people said that white people were saying about black hair. And a part of me empathizes with Sexy Red because I do feel like she has been constantly attacked for her looks. A lot of people have been obviously anti-black towards her, and I feel like she is just tired. I do know that people often have made comments because she wears a lot of wigs that are like loud or horrendous that they didn't even expect for her to have long hair, or what some people would call nice hair. And I don't like that term. I'm just saying people would say that about Sexy Red. She has nice hair. She has good hair. She has long hair. And I'm surprised she does. I think that Sexy Red has been overly critical again because of her behavior, how she dresses, and just overall the things she said. And again, people have associated that with blackness, with being a ghetto black girl. And many people did presume that she was bald-headed.
I hated when Sexy Red first came out because Facebook, they called her ugly and dirty for at least 3 days straight. And it baffled the fuck out of me because I'm like, bro, it's other people that became famous within this year, and y'all didn't do this to them. I guess because they were another skin tone. I don't know. But it just really made me sad. It's like, damn, y'all really threw this girl name through the mud. I remember all her like old Facebook pictures. Everybody was reposting them, saying this and that about them, and I'm like, oh wow, calling her all type of ugly. I'm like, Sexy Red not ugly. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? The hell, what? And that's how I know. That's how I know. You can't listen to the internet. You can't get in your feelings about the internet, even if somebody dragging you or the whole internet dragging you. As long as you getting some money, it don't even matter. Cause now everybody yelling, get it sexy.
Ugly word. Ugly word. I'm trying to see.
Honestly, I think a lot of darker skinned Black women who play into like such mental stereotypes are sometimes forced to hide their beauty. And again, Sexy Red, who has like a lot of tattoos, who wears the cheapest outfits and bad wigs, a lot of people just didn't understand that she is naturally beautiful. So again, I never saw Sexy as ugly on a physical level. I think Sexy Red often says and does problematic things. Unfortunately, what she does, many people say this is reflective of all Black women. Yet I'm going to be honest, lately it seems like more people are being offended when celebrities who are darker skinned are speaking up or responding to negative comments. Even more so, I think it's ironic that these same people who are saying things that people don't like, or celebrities, influencers who are saying things that people find problematic, is just interesting because that's kind of how they became who they are. So people say they like the ratchet, loud, outspoken person, and you can say all these horrible things, but once you say features that pertain to Black women, that's when it's an issue. And it's kind of weird because, for instance, gay men say things like bitch. And when they get in an argument with these men and they call them a bitch, they want to get offended. Or they give people N-word passes, and then when someone calls them a nigga, they get offended. And it's just like, this is kind of selective outrage, and y'all have to be clear about what do you support and what do you not support, because you were all for her saying like crazy, horrible things, but when she says something that pertains to you, and a lot of these people have been antagonizing her on the internet, calling her bald-headed, nappy-headed, etc. But when she says, well, I'm not bald-headed, I'm not nappy-headed, y'all get mad. I don't uplift anti-Blackness at all, but I'm just saying a spade is a spade, and it's really weird because a lot of times when even these non-Black women are saying some of the same or worse things, y'all defend them and say, like for instance with Erica Mena, y'all say, oh, she talked about someone's child, or, you know, I say things when I'm mad, nothing's off limits, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But if someone's talking about you, ain't you somebody's child? Like, that don't make sense to me. Again, I don't like anti-Black statements, but I do know when people are upset and when they're constantly feeling like they're at the short end, they will say whatever they feel like they need to say. And unfortunately, Sexy Red said a texturous comment about hair. But I'm also tripping because I'm like, Sexy Red, baby, you got a press. Your hair is probably, if it ain't 4C, your hair curls up just like ours. So it's just really weird to hear that. But again, I do know that a lot of times people will constantly pick at celebrities and influencers. And a lot of these new people, they don't have media training. So they're not going to ignore you a lot of times, unfortunately. They have Instagram just like us. They have TikTok just like this. So sometimes they might ignore you, but sometimes they don't respond. And Sexy Red happened to respond. And unfortunately, the majority of her fan base are Black women, and they felt offended by it. So I'm going to play some public opinion, and then I'm going to conclude.
You disappointed me. You disappointed me.
I'm so disappointed in you guys for making Sexy Red disappoint you. Sexy Red is posting that, oh, our stuff look like, our hair look like rug, and you guys are offended. Have you seen the way she looks? Anything that comes out from her mouth, I'm never gonna take it personally. She looks dirty with her tattoo. She's looking like Young Twin, literally. You guys are offended with everything coming out from her mouth. I'm not surprised at all. I am not surprised at all. I am not surprised at all. But you guys taking it to the heart is offensive. Something coming out from my mouth is you're taking it to the heart. That's crazy. Literally. You guys, we need to stand up and stop making people like that, her or EK, make us feel worthless because it's not worth it. Look at the people that are saying shit that they're making it affect you. If it comes from someone else, I will understand, but Sexy Red, really? Stand up.
I hate it when black artists reach a certain level of success where they have an opportunity to change the condition of the black community, but instead they use their success to shit on the community, to stunt on the community. They bully and tease us about the things that we don't have that they do. It's almost like they get successful and then they start doing some nana nana boo boo, look at me. As a black woman in the industry with so much influence, why would you ever call black woman hair carpet hair? But if a person of another race said it, y'all will be offended. Just because you're a black woman making a comment on other black women's hair doesn't make it less offensive. Because a lot of black people think that they can say derogatory things to other black people and it's okay because they're black too. We got to start treating the black people with self-hatred the same way we treat other races who hate us. Disrespect is disrespect. And as a black woman with your type of influence, you don't get to call our hair carpet hair. 4C hair is nothing to be ashamed about. 4C hair is beautiful. 4C hair is healthy. 4C hair does not need to be straightened out. 4C hair does not need to be braided down and tucked away under a wig just so it can fit in with society. Society better get with the program, honey, because 4C hair is beautiful. To all my 4C hair girlies, you better rock it with confidence, baby. The fact that you have to dim somebody else's light so that you can shine is just a projection of your own insecurities.
The community is affecting us.
I'm not infected. I have papers to prove I'm not infected.
Y'all know another reason y'all don't like Sexy Red? Correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong. Wasn't a lot of the women back then who was coming out as female rappers, they had a lot of cosigns from men. Like, as in, they did not make their songs until men got to listen to it first. Sometimes the men would feed them lines to say. I feel like the difference is the women of today, I'm not saying that they all write their rhymes. We all know the men's don't all write their rhymes. So, of course, the women don't all write their rhymes. But a lot of the women are writing from like a woman's perspective, like only. Like they write in some shit that a woman would say. That's girl things. Like girls would say this. Women, people who are socialized as women would say these things. And I feel like smart people, can you take what I just said and double it?
Sexy Red is so fucking ratchet, it's not even funny. And I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that statement, but don't get mad at me. That is how she wants to promote herself. This is someone, when you just look up their name, the first thing that pops up is when she calls herself the Raw Rough Queen. In other words, this is her brand, her music, her statements, the way that she presents herself. She wants people to think that she's ratchet. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think it's just a way of promotion. My favorite, of course, is the comparison between her and Young Thug. Not only does she absolutely look like she could be related to him, Thug in so many ways is the male equivalent to men to what Sexy Red is to women. You listen to Thug's music, you listen to how Thug used to present himself, and it's exactly the same. Thug literally, when he first came out, wanted to be presented as ratchet as fuck. However, I think the biggest difference between Sexy Red and any other rapper is really how explicit her music really is. Even trying to describe it, I feel like we'll get this video taken down. It's really, really gross, it's really, really visual, and it's really like, why would you say that? Some people like it, some people don't, but that's okay. At the end of the day, this is absolutely working out for her and her team. She's probably going to be the biggest thing in 2024. Not my cup of tea, but again, all the time we always say, hey, make yourself stand out. If you want to be a rapper and be successful, you have to have people care. You have to have a reason for people to talk about you. So it would only feel like counterproductive if I just saw something like that and just bashed it. More importantly, I think her personality overall just radiates through a room. In the worlds like entertainment and music, that could take you pretty far. But what do you think of Sexy Red? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Oh, baby, we love Trump. We need him back in office.
From Sexy Red, Chef G, and Sleepy Hollow to Sada Baby, Icewear, Vezo, and Peasy, rap artists are shaping new sounds within hip-hop and Donald Trump's presidential campaign.
Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us.
Now, flashy endorsements don't always mean more votes, but the Trump campaign has been using new artists at its events to help court young voters of color.
He might be the first person to make me vote.
Rappers have backed Trump before, but more have joined him in the past few years. When Trump was in the White House, his pardons of Kodak Black and Lil Wayne led both artists to publicly support him. And for some voters, that support's a big deal.
Yo, growing up, right, I listened to 50 Cent. I used to hear Donald Trump on the mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? And to have a president that used to be in the hood clubbing with people that come from where I come from, Come on, man.
The Biden campaign says it's more focused on engaging with voters directly than it is on endorsements. But that hasn't stopped the White House from participating in events like this.
Wow, y'all give it up one more time for Quavo and the Vice President of the United States of America.
I feel like I owe certain black women an apology when I made the video saying that some women are jealous of Sexy Red. It's not all. It's not all. Do I believe that some women are jealous of Sexy Red? Absolutely. Not all. But I understand the ones that genuinely want a better representation for black women. I completely understand that, and I think that is coming from a genuine place. However, the originator of this conversation, that is where I should have said this entire thing is not genuine. She was not genuine with starting this conversation. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, Dana is my mutual, and I can tag her in this video. And this is also someone who has praised me for calling out BS whenever I've seen it in the past. So I don't know if she's going to be open to this critique. But I'm only going to critique things that have been on social media, like literally the things that she has posted and the things that she's said. From the inception of that topic, I knew that it was disingenuous, and I knew that it was coming from a very mean-spirited place, and I knew that it wasn't all about wanting better for black women. I knew that wasn't it. And I say that because she has made comments about Sexy Red before, and I was just like, in the past I was like, oh, ha ha, he, this is just like some throwaway joke or whatever. But to see the amount of videos and how long the videos were and the things that she said and the way that she was degrading this girl and speaking about her as if she was less than human, that was very disgusting, and it was a mean girl tactic. You only have a problem with Sexy Red because she is a certain type of black woman that you don't see value in, and that is elitist. Those black women do exist, and they do deserve representation. This is a mean girl tactic that you are employing. And you disguise the entire thing, your mean girl tactics, you disguise it behind respectability politics and wanting better for the black community, when the reality is that you don't like women like that, and you don't see value in them. And you have to put those types of women down to step up or make yourself feel better. But if they are so low and you have to step on them in order to make yourself feel better, how high up are you actually going? And you're very manipulative behind this entire thing, because you're trying to frame this behind wanting better for black women. But what you really wanted was for everybody to rally behind you and bully this girl to make you feel better, because that's what mean girls do. That's quite literally the plot of the movie Mean Girls. And for you to be older than her, I expect you to be more mature than her. Of course she's going to make these mistakes. Of course she's going to act like this. Of course she's going to talk like this. That girl is 25 years old, and she grew up in the hood. She did not grow up in the same circumstances that you did. But you expect her to operate as if she did. For you to be older than her, have a good 10 years on her, but acting younger than her with these bullying tactics, these high school bully tactics, that's very disgusting, and you're not going to get anybody's attention like that, at least not in a positive manner. You poked and poked and poked, and when that girl finally responded back to you, you acted like you were the victim. Again, that is very manipulative. And you've manipulated this entire conversation to have these people start this witch hunt against Sexy Red. And this girl ain't doing nothing to nobody. And you said that you wouldn't go to a Drake concert because Sexy Red was there. Drake? The man that has grooming allegations against him? The man that is always appropriating other people's culture and over-sexualizing black women? That man? If anybody is an industry plant, it would be him. A Canadian actor that came to America that has ghostwriters and made this false career and acts like somebody that he doesn't even know. He's not the industry plant. But again, you have a very colorist mindset because you only do this to darker skinned women. And based on things that you have said on your TikTok account, you've always been manipulative. And when you can't get your way, you resort to that mean girl. And there are a lot of mean girls on this app who are also just like you. They're getting upset because the hoes are winning. The hoes are getting everything that was promised to the good girls, and y'all can't stand it. These hoes have access to everything that y'all have access to, and the men want them. And I know that you're going to say, oh, men are not the prize. If you ain't out here being a lesbian bumping purses with somebody, the men are the prize. And y'all want to talk about, oh, I'm concerned about the kids. I'm concerned about the kids. This woman, this grown woman, does not have a deal with Kids Bop. She is not being played on Radio Disney. At what point do the adults come into the conversation? But again, that was very manipulative because you're trying to play on people's consideration and their thoughts about their children when they don't even apply in this situation, because she is not a child star. She's not a child entertainer. She's an adult entertainer. She makes music for adults. Nothing positive was meant to come out of this because it was disingenuous from the start. I really hope that you are open to this, because I can spot a bullshitter. Please don't try to bullshit me. And I did not come at you in a very mean or malicious way. I never called you out your name. Please don't do that.
Well, that on your bullshit that you try to compare dark-skinned black women to a man.
So I agree with this creator's video, and I actually like his content. The only thing I'm going to push back against is Sexy Red is not dark-skinned. And there are black women who are not dark-skinned who often get likened to men, usually based off of featureism, right? If you have typically black features, people are going to call you a man. But I just want to push back because I think a lot of times people are like saying, oh, Sexy Red is dark-skinned. She's not dark-skinned, but she would still be likened. She's still experiencing anti-blackness. That's just something I wanted to clarify.
Sexy Red said y'all have carpet hair. So for all the 4C girlies, you now have carpet hair. I guess I have medium carpet because I'm 3C. Because it's still, like, if you comb mine out, you couldn't really tell. If it was curling, you combed it out. It looked just like 4C hair. It looks like a fro. But seriously, I'm very envious of women with 4C hair because y'all got it good, okay? Thick, strong hair, okay? Y'all, when y'all get your hairstyles, they last. I want my braids to be able to stay in my hair and last and not look old in 2 weeks, okay? I'm very envious of that. I'll take carpet hair, if that's what you want to call it, over medium carpet, because all of it is, you know, a little carpety. So let's be honest about it. And not her flexing that hair under a wig. Anybody can grow their hair under a wig sexy. It's not like you're wearing it out and you're using some good regimen. You have on a wig with old braids under your wig all the time. And if everybody wear a wig all the time with some braids, your hair is going to grow, honey. So this was not it.
Now all of a sudden I look like Sexy Red, and that's why I draw the line. I let y'all rock with Summer Walker. I let y'all rock with Megan Thee Stallion. But I crossed the line, complete full stop, at Sexy Red. And don't get me wrong. When you look at Sexy, like you literally have to stare at her and really put shit into perspective. The girl is pretty. The girl is pretty. But at first glance, Sexy Red gives dirty. Her tattoo placements aren't the best. And this is coming from somebody with, I guess, bad tattoo placements. Her tattoo placements are terrible. I crossed the line at people telling me I look like Sexy Red. And every time they do it, my first thing to them is, I look dirty. Because you really got to stop and pause and look at Sexy and realize, damn, she's actually a pretty girl. But at first glance, how she carry herself, all of that, it give a little bit of, I'm not taking that.
How old do you think Daddy is? 42. Oh, yeah, I mean, Daddy's old. I think he's 7. Yes, that's it. Yes, that's what you want to hear, isn't it? Yes, jump through the hoop. Daddy's feet smell. Jackasses.
I just got to get on here and talk about the whole Sexy Red discourse, because if you have a Twitter, you know they've been going back and forth about if she pretty, if she ugly or not on Twitter. They've been having multiple discourses about it. First things first, she's not ugly, and y'all going back about somebody's looks. But yeah, y'all going back and forth about how someone looks is crazy. Like, it's crazy. First of all, I feel like a lot of women say she's ugly because she doesn't do the extras. She's happy with her natural face, her natural body. Men are used to seeing girls did up, done up, surgeries, yada, yada, yada. A lot of women don't need that. They don't feel like they need that. And that's a good thing. To call a woman ugly because she don't want to do all the extras is crazy. Like, look at this girl, natural hair, natural body. She looks good. Y'all have really forgot what a real natural person looks like these days. Like, come on now. Go outside, touch grass, come back to reality.
What up, guys? It's Kelman West 10 TV. Whew. Got a funny one for you today. Not really funny, but it's something that I didn't know, that I learned something new. And I really didn't know what you called it, but now I understand. I guess the artist Sexy Red had started talking about some other black women that had 4C hair. And I'm listening to this other TikToker was like, yeah, don't ever let, if you got 4C hair, don't let nobody tell you about nothing. I'm like, what is the hell is damn 4C hair? And then so I Googled it, man, did I seen this? I never knew what that is. I never knew what 4C hair was. And I'm not making a joke about it, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? I've seen women with that hair. I never knew what it was called. You know what I'm saying? But I learned something new today. You know what I'm saying? 4C hair. Mine ain't 4C. I don't know what mine is. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have that kind of hair exactly. But man, I didn't even know like it was a level. You know what I'm saying? Boy, you learn something new every day.
Why is Sexy Red coming for 4C hair girls right now? What the heck? What the heck? Oh God, this is a freaking frog. Baby frog. Yeah, look at this frog. Aww. Kind of looks cute. Hey, Froggy. Looks cute.
Sexy Red is not an embarrassment to black culture because she's not black culture. Sexy Red is not an embarrassment for black people because she's not black people. She's Sexy Red. Look, I just saw this post earlier and it just made me upset because people are always saying stuff like that, right? But Sexy Red embodies hood culture, and hood culture is not intertwined with black culture. They're different things because there are other people that are not black that participate in hood culture. But not only that, the biggest problem I actually have with this take is when people are like, oh my goodness, this is the stereotype that we're trying to change and she's promoting it. You know who's not a good representation of black people? Meghan Markle. While she might represent a specific demographic of black people, a lot of black people don't necessarily relate to her with the exception that she's black or partially black. She's not a proper representation of black culture, and she never tried to be, like Sexy Red. But even at her classiest, because that's the whole reason why people are talking about Sexy Red and Sukihana, right? They're degrading, they're ghetto, they're hood, they're classless. Even at her classiest, and mind you, Meghan Markle's definitely way more palatable to the masses than Sukihana or Sexy Red could ever be. Even at her best, they were treating Meghan Markle like she was a field slave. Even at her best, they consistently regarded her as if she was less than human. If you had seen the articles that were written about her, if you had seen how people talked about her on the news, like, get it through your head. It doesn't matter what you do as a black person, you're always going to be a caricature for certain people, for certain demographics too. And while I don't necessarily relate to Sexy Red, especially in regards of hood culture, I genuinely enjoy her music. She doesn't represent everybody. She represents a specific subculture, and that subculture exists whether you like it or not. She's not promoting a stereotype, she's promoting herself. And let's be clear, there are plenty of other women we could talk about before we talk about Sexy Red, because what does she promote? Hood niggas, getting money, getting laid. You know who else promotes that? Nicki Minaj.
These new age adults are exactly why I'm afraid to have kids. Because they want to be the kids. Like, the grandma's the baby. Currently going viral on Twitter right now because I had retweeted a post where Sexy Red was mad because she couldn't go and perform or speak at a school. And I said that I've been telling y'all her target audience is kids. Because it is. That's what I believe. That's what I see with this shit. You don't gotta agree. I don't care. A lot of these new age artists target kids with very hypersexual and explicit content. I feel like my point is proven seeing that she's mad she can't go into a fucking school. Because why, as an adult entertainer whose music is on the verge of erotica, would you even think it's appropriate for you to show up at a school and then show up like that? Smelling like marijuana with your cleavage hanging out. Baby, you wouldn't even be able to go visit your baby daddy in prison looking like that. But that's how you show up for the kids. Okay. 2, why would adults even think it is morally right to book a fucking Sexy Red to come speak to kids? From the teachers to the fucking superintendent to, why would y'all think that's acceptable? The adults of this generation do not want to protect children. They just want to exploit them. Y'all don't see black kids as kids. You don't see black children as children. This is why y'all in my comments in my last videos mad at me because I don't agree with an 18-year-old being a 304. The amount of adults in my comments trying to justify this shit is just like blowing my mind. Somebody said, well, adults love sexy, kids love sex. What adult is condoning their child listening to Sexy Red? Even I had to sneak to listen to Kaya. The adultification of black kids right now makes me want to fucking slap every bitch in here. A lot of these new age adults remind me of those older monitors who would come and substitute after school and who would think they was one of the kids. I'll never forget, I had a whole beef with one of these grown ass monitors. Literally, I had to call my mom up to the school because she beefing with me like she a kid. Literally. You mad at me, but you kicking it with the whole football squad. And what's funny is she ended up getting fired years later because it got found out that she was messing with one of the kids. And that's what y'all be giving. Like weirdo behavior. Y'all are blurring the lines. Y'all do not want to hold space for the kids. I told y'all hating bitter aunties is in the club with y'all now. They in the club turning up with you. They don't want to be your auntie. They don't want to be a big sister. They don't want to be your mentor. They your fucking competition. Confirmation. You can go to the club right now and see an 18-year-old with the same aesthetic as a motherfucking 35-year-old. It's weird. Y'all are weird. The grandma's the baby.
You can say a lot of things about Sexy Red, but one thing you can't say is that she's bald-headed. This girl has a lot of hair. Oh my gosh. Now I don't know about her edges. She's saying that's, I don't know, but as far as her hair goes, this is her natural hair and it's pretty darn long. Tell me, did you know Sexy Red had all of this hair? Oh my gosh. She's not a real bad looking girl. Tell me what you guys think about this and I'll talk to you later.
So again, I do think a lot of this is selective outrage. I'm not saying that she's right for what she said, but again, I do think when roasting sessions come up, people intend to make someone cry, offended, or basically get so upset to even fight you, at least where I'm from. And I know I can go there, but I don't even like to get to that point because I feel like that brings the most nastiest and darkest energy out of someone. So I say all this to say that the internet is not a nice place. And sometimes, again, when you say crazy stuff, that energy is returned. So that's all I have to say about this subject pretty much. Let me know what y'all think down below. And thank you for listening to Books and Looks TV.